We are live for another great edition of the All Sports Matters podcast. I am one of the four brothers. We all are one host. Sounds like a line off a wrestling show, right? What, one tree, four limbs, or something, whatever. Either way, we're here, another edition. We just want to talk sports, and we're hoping to get max participation. I'm bring my brothers on board, allow them to introduce themselves. Please come on board with me.
What's going on?
What it do, what it do, what it do.
Good to be
A
back.
lot to talk about and maybe not a lot of time. Well, we'll see how that goes.
Let's see how it play out.
You know, we do have a lot to talk about, so we're going to get right to the point. It's crazy because this is Super Bowl weekend, right? It's Super Bowl weekend. We're excited about two very competitive teams that have earned their way to the Super Bowl, and we're not going to lead with that. That's how crazy the sports world is right now. This past week, the trade deadline went down. This past week, a record was set. And we will start with that because you know what? Records do matter. And we're going to start with LeBron James passing the great Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for the most points in the history of the NBA. No, I didn't start this on purpose to go off because you know what? I'm not going to start this. I am not. I am a facilitator today. I am playing Mr. Nice Guy. I get it. I get it. Don't look here though. Don't look here. Okay. Because today, yes, I decided to go into my greatness collection to put on my shirt, but that's not what this is about. The show's not about me. The show is not even about Michael Jordan, the best of all time. Either way, we're going to talk about LeBron James and the history. It's history. The history that he made, because I don't want to take away from the history that was made. Fleck, let's talk LeBron James and his legacy first and foremost.
I think he solidified himself. I mean, he was already in my book top three, you know. I think him getting this record solidified maybe top two. You know what I mean? Like maybe he bumped Kobe Jellybean Bryant down one notch. Because I had Kobe as my number two. I guess the GOAT debate is it's just that. Like there's no wrong answer. You know what I mean?
We're not touching that right now. Why not? Because I want to give all millennials their time. We're giving this moment to the history-making LeBron James. I want to make sure that I give him their time because he earned it. He's earned this time to be acknowledged as one of the best to ever do it. So I want to focus on LeBron James right now.
There's no debating that he's one of the greatest to do it. You know what I mean? Like that's what I was getting at. But I don't know, like 38,000 probably gonna finish with 40,000 plus points for his
Very
career.
possible. Very possible.
I don't think that's a record that may not ever be touched again. You know what I mean? Will it be close? I mean, there's nobody right now like within 10,000 points of him.
I think, yeah.
I think that was the record. The thing that I seen. There's no active player within 10,000 points.
But you're going to see players like Giannis, Nikolai Jokic. You're going to see those guys creep up in the standings. I'm saying in the standings of points scored.
I don't think Giannis gets close. I don't think Giannis gets close just for the fact that he's not known as a three-point guy. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't get a lot of his points. A lot of his points come off of his freakish athleticism. Which over time that's gonna.
Well, you open that door. Let me ask you then: does Steph Curry get there?
And that's what I was saying. Now, like, if somebody gets there, I don't think he gets to 40,000. But I think Steph is probably on the down slope. Like what LeBron is doing is like mind blowing. Like I will give this dude is 38 years old.
Right.
He's not supposed to be putting up almost 40 points a game like that. You know what I'm saying? At 38 years old. You know what I mean? Like he puts so much he invests so much in keeping himself in shape though. I honestly don't see anybody in our lifetime, and I'll say it that way. I don't see anybody in our lifetime touching this record that LeBron is at and adding to. Because he's been his career with 40,000 plus.
Before I bring you on, Rob, you said it, lifetime. So far, I want to believe we saw 2 lifetimes. 1 Jordan era, 2 LeBron. Not that I'm comparing, because it's not comparison. I'm trying to avoid the greatness debate because it is eras. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's, the Wilt Chamberlain, the Bill Russells, you know, before our era, before our generation. So, Rob, I'm going to bring you in. Where do you put LeBron? You know what? No, let's just focus on LeBron right now, this conversation.
As far as LeBron goes, LeBron, nothing you can take from him. I salute the guy. I think he's a phenomenal player. I think he's an incredible leader on the court, in the community. But that record he just broke is just unbelievable. To see someone at 20 years in their career still putting up the numbers he's putting up, it's phenomenal. And to think about if he goes another, say, 2 or 3 years, so yes, even if he only goes 2 or 3 years, you're still talking about well over 40,000 points that he's going to put up. To me, that record is going to be hard to touch. And he's put himself in a position to where you have to mention his name as one of the greatest to ever live. Now, do I still think Michael Jordan is the greatest? Yes. That's just my opinion. That's how I feel. But I'm not going to sit here and diminish the incredible career of LeBron. I think he's phenomenal. I think LeBron is incredible. What he's done, and how someone who's a pass first, supposedly person, is broken a scoring record without winning a scoring title in his career. I don't think he's ever won, not one. He has one scoring title out of his 20 years. It's pretty phenomenal. Well, that's pretty phenomenal. That speaks volumes to his acumen and how well he takes care of himself. It's bananas, and I salute him. It was phenomenal to watch.
So I want to focus on the athletes, obviously, because we live in a society where if we bring up a different athlete, people think we're putting down another athlete, and that's not the case. You know what I'm saying? When I go into my conversations, everybody follows me on social media, and I go on my rants about Jordan is better. I'm not saying LeBron sucks.
Right.
Now, if anything, I'm praising LeBron. LeBron, and I think you put it perfectly, Fleck, when you said he passed Kobe Bryant as the second best player of all time, because I had that same list. Okay, I had that same list. I don't think she wants to come on this show today. She's just correct. I don't think she's ready. If anything, she could bring her husband on too. They go do it.
I'm petty.
But
I'm petty.
I'm not putting down any particular player because of another player. I'm not doing that. Being second best, there's nothing wrong being second best in this conversation.
Right.
Because these are eras that we're talking about. If you want to talk the ultimate winner, you look at guys like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Bill Russell.
Right.
You know, as far as pure talent, pure athleticism, nobody beats LeBron. He is quite possibly the best big man, 6'8", play 5 positions all at the same time and can't be touched. Does that generate, and I'll get to you in a second, Fleck, generate, can he play in other eras? Of course, we're not going to go about we don't know, because we don't know. We don't know. We're only talking about what we do know. Now, we're talking about weaknesses, and I'm reading the comments here. No, I don't think his defense is the weakness. Not he can dial it up when he wants to. The NBA today is more relaxed. Obviously, it's a uh scoring game right now. The field, the court is wide open. You'll rarely see what's it called? A defensive, a defensive game. Those those
Mhm.
those days are over.
The
Those
days,
days are over.
the days
Right.
of
So obviously,
the
yeah,
days of the Jordan rules, where you
Yeah,
come in the lane, you getting your head taken off.
right,
that's
That's
calm.
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. There goes
Um,
another movie.
the
Saying
GOAT
I'm
debate.
hating on LeBron. Did I
Yeah,
once
I
say
mean
something bad about LeBron?
the GOAT.
For the record,
The debate is subjective. It's very subjective. You know
Exactly.
what I mean?
There you
It's
go.
not. It's not. There's no, like you said. There's no right or wrong answer. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I'm pretty sure that everybody out there can pretty much say, you know what I'm saying, in some order, Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, the three are right there together. You know what I'm saying? In some order. It's very subjective. Like there's no right or wrong answer. I think I have my criteria, you know what I'm saying, for how I define GOAT. And it may not be the same as Amir's or Rob's. And that's okay.
Mhm.
Like that's okay. I mean, that's why it's called a debate. There's no
Exactly.
right or wrong answer to this. Um,
Exactly.
but I just pulled up the active scoring list. You know, LeBron's at, of course, 38,000. Guess who's number two? 10,000 behind.
Harden.
Melo. Carmelo
Still?
at 28,000
But he's not
points.
an active player.
And
I mean, he's not
that's what's
retired either,
scary.
so technically
But
he is active.
that's really what's
Um,
scary. Melo,
if we're
what?
talking about people that are actually on the court,
Right.
KD's third with 26,000.
And
And
his
And
health,
KD is on the downside of his career.
yeah,
right.
his health is definitely going to take him off the court. For a while, if we're being honest, I thought talent wise, Kevin Durant was better than LeBron, and I will apologize for that because time has showed me, and I made that assumption before he joined the Warriors. When he was at OKC, there was no stopping Kevin Durant. There was
Mhm.
no stopping,
Right. And
and the only thing that stopped him was the Warriors.
right.
And he just turned around and joined the enemy, and then he won his championships. And I had an issue with Kevin Durant from there. But I want to throw this out there since I want to throw some numbers out there, and this is history talking. Um, I guess we can start with LeBron. Might as well start with LeBron, four-time champ. We can't take that away from him. I'm not gonna sit here and say he sat on a super team or didn't. No, he got his four championships. Four-time NBA MVP. Four-time. Okay. All-time leading scorer. We mentioned that already. And yes, you mentioned this earlier, Fleck, or Rob wanted to say he was a pass-happy,
Rob said
superstar.
that.
So he's fourth in all times in career assists, which is a huge accomplishment. I don't think he'll ever pass John Stockton because that number was absurd when I looked at it earlier. But one scoring title. Now, when we look at greatness, and somebody mentioned it in the comments, and I give you guys all the props in the world because I want to make sure our fan base or there's three things that we're looking
Boys,
for.
I'll find it for you. Just speak. Talk.
Quincy mentioned those three things, okay? And that's where I have an issue with LeBron because he's not a closer. He can't hit free throws to save his life. So obviously he's not perfect. I get that. Shot couldn't hit free throws, but guess what? He was still going to go to get his 30 points regardless. Okay? But we're talking about numbers. Everybody has a weakness. Maybe. I guess Michael Jordan's weakness because he just got bored. That's his weakness. Boredom. Got it. But we're going to continue on with numbers. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who he just passed, is a six-time champion, six-time MVP. LeBron has 4. Kareem has 6. Y'all making me do this. I didn't want to do this, but we're doing this. Third all-time in rebounder. Again, it's his position. He was a center. So obviously, he's going to do center things, right? Score. But here's the number that that's outstanding for me. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar only hit 3 3-pointers his whole career. 22-year career, only hit 3 3-pointers and scored all those points. So just imagine.
Amir, before you jump off Kareem, you hit something right on the head that I want to go ahead and highlight. I don't think people understand how freaking dominant Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was. Like, he created the most unblockable shot in basketball history. And he scored in 22 years. You're talking about a dude who only, like you said, 3 3-points his entire career. And he scored that many points. I don't really think it comprehends to people's minds how dominant this dude was. Like, if Kareem was presented the opportunity that LeBron was to go from high school to college, we wouldn't even be having a conversation right now. We're talking about a guy who went to college and dominated from start to finish, went from freshman to senior year and dominated college all the way through. We're talking about one of the most complete big men to ever play the game. And I don't think, and a lot of young people don't know that because they don't do their homework or they don't want to look at that, and they just get bored and they think, well, he only played against a bunch of like people who ended up being plumbers and mechanics and stuff like that or whatever. But it's silliness. This man, we're talking about one of the most dominant players to ever grace the court. And I don't people don't give him his props enough. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was a monster, a complete monster.
I totally agree with you. That a lot of his numbers, he won the NCAA championship 3 times on top of his whole career. 3 times.
3 times.
And 4 seasons. As a freshman, he went 21-0.
Yes.
Freshman. Lou Alcindor showed up and was like, hey, I'm here to wreck shop. And that's exactly what he did. And then I'm going to put something else in perspective for you guys. Prior to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar joining the NBA had one dominant player, and his name was Wilt Chamberlain, right? Kareem came in and dominated him. Just to show you how great.
Hold up, say that again.
Wilt Chamberlain was in the NBA. Kareem surpassed him in his stats.
You said the NBA only had one dominant. Is that what you said?
I said Wilt Chamberlain was dominating. He was a dominating player. He was a dominating.
He was the most dominant. He was the most dominant.
They only had one. I was about to say, hold on.
Wilt Chamberlain for seasons was averaging 50 points a game.
Yeah. 20 plus rebounds a game.
Hey, nobody could ever dispute that.
I'm talking about domination. That's domination. And I get it. That's his era. And that's his era. I get it. But I'm in the business of sports reporting. Okay? When I hate on my social media, that's me being me. I get that. But right now, I'm being the sports reporter and giving y'all numbers and facts. Because that's all I do in this show. #facts. Okay, and I'm going to continue on. Obviously, we're going to talk about Michael Jordan briefly. And then we'll move on to a crazy week in NBA trades. He also won an NCAA championship his freshman year. I believe he was more of a bench player that first year, if I'm being honest. I got to give all the facts. I got to give all the facts. He was coming off the bench his freshman year. Mm-hmm. He didn't break out until his junior year. Then he went into the NBA.
Well, okay? I mean, you got to. We got what we're talking about though. You got to remember what team he was on. That North Carolina team was Jesus Christ. I mean,
right.
I think that whole starting 6 players went to the league in like the first round. So yeah, I feel you.
6-time NBA champion, 10-time NBA scoring champion. Now, for me, I can stop there. 2-time Hall of Famer. He went in the second time as that 1992 Dream Team. Everybody was on that squad, went into for that team to be that dominant. Hell, 5-time MVP. So, but he was better. Okay. Kareem was better. Now, LeBron is doing exactly what LeBron's supposed to be doing. Because I don't want to take away anything from LeBron. I want people to understand I'm not here in the business of putting down LeBron. I not once said he wasn't great. Not once have I said it. Okay? So the NBA is different. And it's not fair because disputing eras is not fair. Because we don't know. We're not going to do the what if. Emmitt Smith is the all-time leading running back in the NFL. But if Barry Sanders had an offensive line, how good would he would have been? What if? If Jim Brown would have played longer than Emmitt Smith, what if? Walter Payton didn't play as many years either. What if? We're not going to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We're not going to do that. Bobby Cox took his baseball team, the Atlanta Braves, to 23 straight playoffs. Is he the best manager of all time? Again, you know what I'm saying? Like, people dominate in their eras, and they're supposed to. They're supposed to. But this is the no defense NBA that we're living in right now. And it's not a knock to LeBron. He's just playing in the era that he was born in. And yes, you said it right, Rob. He might have 2, 3, 4 more years, and that numbers is going to balloon up. So he might be 40,000, 42,000, who knows? And that number might never be touchable again unless it's flag football, basketball. I don't know how soft the NBA can get. But I think we're at the end of this debate. Yeah, I'm not even going to look at those comments by you know who. And we're going to get to basketball. We're going to get to basketball because basketball has been dominating the news this week. And again, I want to reiterate, this is Super Bowl Sunday. And we are not even going to touch on it. Eventually we will. All right. The trades. The Nets blew up their team. Right? KD went to Phoenix. Kyrie went to Dallas. And the funny part about that, the irony is, if the season ended today, they will play each other in the first round of the playoffs. Just want to throw that out there. That's the 4th or 5th seeds. Funny, ironic, coincidence. I look forward to the playoffs. I will throw this out there. Who will finish higher, I guess is my question. Phoenix or Dallas?
Phoenix.
If Phoenix get healthy,
Phoenix. I mean, anytime you got Chris Paul passing to a Devin Booker,
right,
or a Kevin Durant as his wing options,
like that's
how can you go wrong?
Exactly.
I honestly think with them adding a healthy KD, and I'm going to say a healthy KD, with them adding a healthy KD, that Phoenix team, to me, they may not get the 1 seed, but I think they're the favorites to come out of the West.
They're as close as you're gonna get to a 1 seed because they are tough. And then if with DeAndre Ayton sitting down there in the paint, and if they can get his head on the right way, it's gonna be a hard team to get by. I'm just gonna be honest.
Now they're gonna have to go to the buyout market and add some more depth because they gave up a Mikal Bridges, they gave up a Cam Johnson, Jay Crowder, who got traded to the Nets, then got rerouted to the Bucks. They gave up. Well, I mean, Crowder obviously wasn't on the court this year anyway, but they gave up depth. You know what I mean?
But like you said, that buyout market,
that free agent, that buyout market, and add a couple of bodies, but. I don't see if everybody is healthy, and I can't stress that enough. If everybody is healthy, that Phoenix team is scary. That's a scary team. I would not want to see them in the playoffs.
So, no. Well, we're on the subject. I guess I'll ask this question. The era of the Brooklyn Nets was KD, Harden, and Kyrie. Everybody joked around is destined to be a 30 for 30, for
the wrong reasons.
How many games did they play together?
16.
16 total.
And they went 13-3.
Yep.
That's the crazy part.
Is this
They
the
could have
biggest
just got him on the court.
of a team in the history of letdowns?
Yes. Yes. For that kind of money? Yes.
I just it's hard for me to like fathom how that went so wrong.
Selfishness.
Like, how did that go so wrong?
It blows your mind that they couldn't make that work.
Well, you know, I got a restraining order against him, so I can't say anything.
Sorry, I was asking Rob. My apologies. I was asking this guy. Rob, talk to me. Who's to blame? Who's to blame?
I have to. The majority of that blame, I think, is on Kyrie, and I think just the way he goes about things, I don't think it just rubs the team the wrong way, and I don't see him meshing well with individuals unless it's like him and KD work, because KD is an alpha, a super alpha. LeBron, a super alpha. I don't see him being able to be on a team with more than one alpha, super alpha type, because it just doesn't work out. No, I'm talking about Kyrie. Because I'm like, when you have like two super alphas, like really alpha male type players, other than that, than Kyrie, it doesn't seem to work out. And I'll bring it up. Boston, he was in the perfect place to win. You had a young Jaylen Brown, who is an alpha, a tough scorer, great defender. And what is your boy name? His name just slipped. Thank you, Tatum. I don't know why I was about to say Tate, but Tatum. You got Jason Tatum, and he's phenomenal. Perfect compliment to someone who is a good ball distributor like Kyrie. But they're Kyrie, alpha, both of them. Both Kyrie of them are alpha.
is a great talent, but that dude is a cancer.
Yeah, he's just not good for the locker room.
And I know that I got a restraining order and I'm not supposed to talk about Kyrie. But there he is. I knew he was going to come in there sooner or later.
So I want to correct, and if I'm wrong, please tell me I'm wrong. I want to correct the comment, Q. Pippen didn't play with Barkley and Drexler.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he did.
Houston.
Yeah, he did.
I thought he went to Portland.
He played with them. He went to Portland, but he came to Houston after that, and he played on the.
So I know they went back to back.
He went to Portland after Drexler left, and then he came down to Houston.
Yep. When
Drexler
was still,
right?
I think Drexler was still there, wasn't he? I think Drexler was still on this. No, Drexler was gone.
I remember they won 92 and 93.
Barkley was there. Drexler wasn't there.
Without Barkley. Then Barkley, Barkley joined the team, and they didn't win three in a row.
Yeah,
I'll ask you guys a question, because I don't want to dominate the headlines. There's a lot to discuss. But which team, and we're outside of Phoenix and Dallas, which team came up in the trade deadline?
The Lakers.
I think the Lakers, and I'm going to say the Bucks.
I say the Lakers. You get rid of a Russell Westbrook, but you bring back D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley, Jared Vanderbilt. Then you trade Pat Bev and some crackers for and I don't mean that in a derogatory way.
Just have to put the disclaimer on there.
Yeah, I got to put that disclaimer out there. Don't cancel me. But
they did not trade Austin Reeves in that trade.
For Mo Bamba. So, the Lakers transformed their team without giving up much of anything.
That Mo Bamba
was left in the 2020s.
Huh?
They gave up their only first round pick they had left.
Well, no, they still got the 2029 one. They only gave up the 2027 one.
Right, because they already gave up the rest of them.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, but I'm saying okay, you have to maximize these last 2 years that you got LeBron, who's still playing at elite level. So,
but they're going straight from LeBron era.
Future.
They're going straight to LeBron era, which is not a a highly celebrated area as far as championships and playoff wins. But once he retires or leaves wherever his son goes, they have no future in that team because they traded him all away.
That's LA.
Do they have any picks? Do they have any picks for
They got the
2020 now and 25?
2029.
2029.
That's what I thought.
But they
just
still
gave
got
up.
every other year too. They still got every other year because you can't trade all of your picks. It might be like pick swaps, but they still got first round picks in the years that, you know what I'm saying, are even, I think.
So my other question.
That's why they're allowed to trade 2027 and 2029 because they still got the even numbered years. But there might be pick swaps though.
So Flex, I got a question for you, real quick, before you jump off the Lakers. Should they have traded AD?
I'm gonna say something that's not gonna be favorable.
And Amir, you can answer that too. Yeah.
His value has gone down.
And that's what I was about to say. But would you have gotten
that
value?
they would not get in return. But AD,
when AD is healthy,
he's incredible.
He's a top 5 talent when healthy.
Incredible. Yes.
That's
just
just
the problem.
Can you get him in? But yeah, I don't think they would have got value back for him though. So I can say yes, they probably should have explored it, and maybe they did, and maybe they didn't get, you know what I'm saying, value coming back the other way. So you roll with the punches, but all things considered, you give up. You really only give up Russell Westbrook, Patrick Beverly, and Thomas Bryant went to the Nuggets. And you bring back D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley, Jared Vanderbilt, who's very underrated. That dude is a very underrated defender.
Yes, he is.
He's a very underrated player. Like that, for me, that one was like, whoa, they got all this back and didn't give up much of it.
You mentioned two things. I guess I'll start with Thomas Bryant going to Denver. That is low key, big time for Denver. Who's already the number 1 seed and doesn't get no credit whatsoever. Aaron Gordon finally realized he was Orlando's Aaron Gordon, having a phenomenal year this season. Jokic is well on his way to back-to-back MVP. Jamal Murray, coming off his ACL injury, is finally being Jamal Murray pre-ACL injury. They're the favorites coming out the West. Until KD got traded to Phoenix.
Right. Okay, I was waiting on that. I was waiting on you to.
I had to tune it up. I had to tune it up because nobody talks about Denver, and I feel as though I had to be an advocate for Denver.
Denver's nice. Denver is nice, and you could even say Phoenix and Denver could be 1A, 1B. Like I wouldn't be surprised if either one came out the West.
I mean, you're right. Both of y'all said it's going to be about health when it comes to Phoenix. Rob. I had a San Antonio joke, but I was like, I guess that's the joke in itself. So I'm gonna leave that alone. What trade for you?
What
outside of Lakers, outside of the top two, what trade stood out for you? You mentioned Milwaukee earlier. Why is that?
I like that Jay Crowder move. The Jay Crowder pickup to me helps give them another weapon that they can utilize and will provide defensive toughness for them that make them really hard to get by in the East and makes them a formidable contender for another championship run. And they got picks, if I'm not mistaken. I think they got like four second-round picks, I think, with them.
Because they traded George Hill as well. So
and they got Jordan, which I didn't understand. I'm like, George Hill just came from Indiana, but they must have really wanted him bad back in Indiana. So I saw that was a theme that was happening this week, with him, John Wall, going back to teams that already had him. But they gave up those 4 picks and Jay Crowder. I really like what the Bucks did.
I think the East got a lot easier for teams like Boston and Milwaukee to obviously play each other once again in the conference championship. Yeah. With the Nets obviously dropping here. John Wall, he mentioned, put that down, sir. Holy crap. Gary Payton just traded to the Warriors. His injury could
I was just about to say that.
Could rescind that trade. That just came down.
I was just about to say that.
And I was going to mention Gary Payton going back to Golden State was a big pickup, but
it still could be. It just depends on what that like you said, depending on what that injury end up being like. But to comment on Rob's Jay Crowder, yeah, him that way, him. What kind of basketball shape is he in? He hasn't played at all this year. So I guess what kind of shape? How quick can he get in to shape if he's not? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not ready to put all the eggs in the basket on that one.
To Crowder's defense, though, I think he just had a falling out in Phoenix. Probably why he wasn't in the rotation. So
no, yeah. I understand. That's exactly why he wasn't in the rotation. Yeah. But I'm just saying, still, you haven't played any competitive basketball at all this year. So what kind of shape are you in?
I guess Jimmy, if he was here facilitating this, he'll throw in Josh Hart to the Knicks. Portland gets Cam Reddish. How big is that?
Josh Hart to the Knicks. I like that move for the Knicks. I think he's gonna give them. He has that familiarity playing with Bronson from their college days. I like that move. I like that.
I do too. I what I'm not understanding is the Knicks' infatuation with playing 7 shooting guards all at the same time. For some reason, they love their guards in New York. I don't know why. And then they'll have 5 starters and turn around and draft Franklin and Ntilikina and draft all these other guards, and you'd be like, "What is going on in this organization?" That I am not understanding.
What was Reddish giving them though?
He wasn't in the rotation.
So you go out and get somebody that more than likely is gonna get in and ball.
But that's the issue with the Knicks, though. And me being a Knicks aficionado, somebody else has to sit out the rotation when Evan Fournier, who they paying all this money, was already out the rotation, and he was actually putting up good numbers. But for some reason, Thibodeau has his top 8 like his MySpace, and he's gonna only play his top 8. I don't get it. He's only played his top 8. So for Josh Hart to get his minutes, somebody like Quigley or somebody like Obi Toppin, somebody, one of the big guys got to sit so he can start 7 guards and Julius Randle. And Julius Randle brings up the ball half the time, which I hate. So I don't understand the Knicks mindset in that one. I'm trying to make sure we discuss everything basketball related because I am not.
It's kind of hard because trade deadline those things were coming in.
It was hot.
I put my phone down for like 10 minutes and there was like 12 trades.
I think that's the reason why KD got traded at 1 a.m. because they didn't want, because they knew there was so much going on the next day.
So
and it came out today. He asked for that.
Yeah. And he asked for it in private. And he asked for it specifically.
And that's what people are supposed to do. Because once he knew Kyrie was gone, he was hurt by that because he was the one that went and got Kyrie. He was the one that established that roster, and he was hurt. Kyrie would ask for the trade.
How do you feel if you're a Brooklyn Nets fan and you wake up the next morning and Ben Simmons is your number 1 guy?
Sick. You hear me? Sick.
Not at all. They got a kid named Cam Thomas who put up 3 straight 40-point games.
No.
You went from Kevin Durant,
Kyrie
Irving.
You went from the penthouse to the basement.
To the basement. And you got a young guy, like you said, Cam is a beast. But Ben Simmons.
Yeah. And what kind of that dude has probably no value, period.
None.
Like none. Like you can't. You're gonna have to attach 1st-round picks to him to try and get him. If you're trying to get rid of him, if you're the Nets, you're gonna have to.
The Nets were trying to flip their entire roster for Van Vliet, and obviously that didn't work out. So they got stuck with Dinwiddie. They got stuck with Dorian Finney and Ben Simmons. So I don't know.
They got Mikal Bridges too. Like
Yeah, they
let's
do
not
have Bridges.
overlook Mikal Bridges.
But
Like
rumor has it he might be a buyout candidate.
Mikal Bridges.
And if they buy him out, I can guarantee you Phoenix is going to
There's
bring him back.
so many people lined up to get him.
The Nets are in the business of not keeping people who don't want to be there.
So you wait until next season and trade him. I wouldn't just like buy him out because he has value.
Yes, you get something out
They're
of
complete rebuild mode.
Yeah,
I would.
He's under contract. He's under contract next year, right?
Mhm.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
He's under contract. So why would you buy him out? No, I'm holding. Look, dude, I'm holding. I don't understand why okay. I guess I understand, but like they were fourth or fifth.
They're sitting at 4. Yeah.
So it's like, man, they blew that thing. They blew that thing up. And
why? I feel as though
they don't have their first round picks.
They can win some ball games in the weak ass East and creep into the playoffs. This is still can be a play, granted to be one and done, but it still can be a playoff team in the East.
But I don't think that's what they.
That's not what they want. No.
Yeah, like that's what I don't understand.
But you can't tell me the players are not going to go out there and play hard. Cam Thomas.
Cam Thomas
is playing the best basketball of his career.
Yeah,
don't tell that kid, hey,
he had a
every now and again. No.
His first game with the Nets wasn't anything to write home about though.
So I'll be quick, I guess. Quincy made a comment. All this started because John Morant, made his comments about they own the West, whatever he said, and everything fell apart for Memphis, including that trade for OG Obadiah. I guess did I say it right?
On the boy.
Obadiah.
On your boy. I don't know how to say his name. On your boy.
That's what I was going to go with.
You know who you're talking about.
Because I was happy when they got that trade because I thought that was the guy Memphis needed to go over the top or compete. But they ended up getting nothing, and all these teams in the West got better.
We got the group text, obviously, and when you sent that to the group text, what was the first thing I said? What did I reply to it? I hope Canada doesn't allow Dylan Brooks
into the country.
That's what happened. You got deported back to the United States. It's like, nope, we don't want him. So I guess one more thing on the West. Russell Westbrook. And I don't want to talk about Russell Westbrook past as far as his career with the Lakers. I don't want to talk about Russell Westbrook, the triple-double machine. I'm talking about Russell Westbrook right now. And Utah just stated that they plan on keeping him. Does he fit?
No.
I don't think so.
If they felt like Mike Conley didn't fit, and Mike Conley is the better.
Mike Conley had 2 bad knees, though.
But Westbrook got a bad jumper. so
right now is the leading vote getter. There's no votes out there, but in theory, to be the 6th man of the year.
On that
Lakers squad. My question is, why would you not? If you needed a point guard and you wanted a point guard, why not go at Miami? Because they already stated that they were in the process of trying to unload Kyle Lowry. No, well, wanting a point guard.
Who?
Wanting a point guard. They're distributing
a point guard.
Talking about
Utah. Yeah, exactly.
And they got Collin Sexton.
Yeah, they don't need a point guard. They just wanted Mike Conley
in the tanking business.
Mm-hmm.
They should be in the tanking business.
No, they started this season. Right now, they're a playoff team.
But
right, I know they are. I'm not saying that they're not.
They definitely are.
They should be.
And the reason why I asked that is why not go after Lowry and really do something?
I don't think when they made those trades, they weren't making those trades looking for a point guard.
No, they wasn't. They wanted Conley gone. So they know they can buy out Westbrook. They know they can buy out Westbrook and let him leave in free agency. And that money is off their books.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So they can keep him this year, and he can ball on a bad team, like John Marshall said, and they might be successful, maybe.
So if Utah does buy Westbrook out, I know the reports are saying, either Miami or the Clippers are the front runners to get him. Who do you guys see as the best fit for him if he does get bought out? What contender could really use him?
I say go east, man. Go east and
Go to the Heat, man.
It's easier right now. Outside of the top 4 or 5 teams, outside Cavaliers, not even Miami's playing ball right now. So I would throw a team out there that might need them to sneak into the playoffs, like a Chicago Bulls.
They definitely need him because they don't know what's going on with Lonzo.
They didn't make any moves at the deadline, huh?
They almost made a move and sent Levine to New York.
The Knicks balked on that. They didn't want to let go of R.J. Barrett.
Right.
And they already had 18 point guards or shooting guards, so they didn't need Levine.
Another on top of it.
No. They might be the first team in history to play 5 point guards, and none of them is taller than nobody.
She's so damn crazy.
But
I do think the Heat would be the best for him, though. This
is crazy. We've been talking for 50 minutes about the NBA during Super Bowl weekend. That's insane to me. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get to the Super Bowl. Be patient with us. The All-Star game reserves came out. Since we're on the subject of basketball, because I don't want to come back to basketball. That's the reason I'm harping on it. Lauri Markkanen today was named the starter for the West, which is weird to me, but he's having a great season.
Is that a starter or a reserve?
No, a starter.
Oh wow!
He took over one of the starters out there, which is weird because the East, I don't think they made any moves, but Kyrie and Kevin Durant, neither one of them is going to be an East player. So we're waiting on that.
But technically, there is no East or West anymore.
Oh, sorry. Well, yes, there is an Eastern starters as far as in the roster. So Joel Embiid was moved up. Pascal Siakam was moved into reserves to take over for Kevin Durant since he left. The West named Anthony Edwards and De'Aaron Fox as reserves for the All-Star game.
I don't understand. Like why? You know what I mean? Like there's only a few games left before the All-Star break, right? Mm-hmm. All-Star break's getting ready to come up here in the next
weekend. So. And I will be in Utah.
So why not? I don't know. I'm not getting into the logistics of it because there's no East West when it comes to the actual game. It's playground style. I pick you. So why even go through all that?
I understand what you're saying, but in theory, you want 12 Eastern players represented. You want 12 Western players, and they're still trying to stick to that. Stick to that theory. You still got Giannis and LeBron making the picks an hour before the game. I don't know how are they making 2 sets of uniforms? I don't know how that works. I will quickly try to segue out of the NBA All-Star into what we saw the NFL Pro Bowl last weekend and their skills challenge. What do you guys think about that? Okay, you guys not liking it.
Go ahead and keep moving.
But did we see a difference in how it played out last weekend than how the Pro Bowl played out previous? Nobody cared about the Pro Bowl before. We're in agreement.
Nobody still doesn't care about it.
They really don't care now.
And nobody still doesn't care about it. Well, I mean,
I thought the skills challenges was intriguing. I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed the first 5 minutes of it, and then I'm like,
no,
it didn't keep my attention.
The way my recovery meds were working, I was asleep.
You always.
It didn't keep my attention. Like I did not like it.
All right.
Facebook, YouTube world. What did you guys think of the Pro Bowl games?
Exactly.
Let's see what they say. Like me personally, I didn't like it.
Well, I just wanted to segue into football somehow.
I
Because
understand.
Super
No,
Bowl,
you're right.
one All-Star game to another. You know,
Did
they
you?
call it a big two.
And did everybody see that Roger Goodell stated that Russell Wilson came up with the idea for flag football?
Of course,
Yeah,
he
I
did.
heard that too.
So
I
it,
heard
made,
that.
Of course, he
it
did.
makes sense.
All right, so I know we just went into football. Those players did not. Those players were injury replacements. They weren't replacements because they got moved to the East and the West.
Mhm.
Well, no, Kevin Durant already said that he wasn't playing when he was with the Nets. So that was an injury
replacement.
Right. That was injury replacement regardless. I got that. Stop. Yeah. We're in football. Focus.
Look, I was looking that up when you said it.
Rob, you gotta be a little bit quicker than that. Rob mentioned Russell Wilson, and I have to. We're eventually going to get into the Super Bowl, but we mentioned Russell Wilson. Now we have to mention Sean Payton. We have to. Do you guys think? Well, I think the obvious answer: he can't have a worse year than he had before. But how better will Russell Wilson be next season?
This is probably one of the greatest things that could have happened to Russell Wilson in Denver.
Bingo. Yes.
He's got a coach that has proven to be effective with a player of Russell Wilson's stature, talent level,
caliber.
With Drew Brees. He had great success with Drew Brees.
Russell was not as accurate as Drew Brees, but I understand what you're saying.
He's got a guy that can work with him, and I like that. I want to know how Russell Wilson feels about Sean Payton basically coming out and saying, "Hey, your guys aren't allowed in my building." I mean, he didn't say it in those exact words, but he said it.
It's close enough.
He said it.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's what I'm saying. He didn't say it in those exact words, but he said it in those words.
I know
that my coaches are the only ones allowed in my coaches and my players are the only ones allowed in the building.
And that was equivalent to when Belichick said Tom Brady couldn't bring his personal trainer Guerrero over, right. Do it on your own time. Right. He has to set a precedent. Like, this is his team, his coaches. Listen to me.
And I like it.
Yeah, I do too.
I just want to see how I want to see Russell Wilson's response to that, or how he feels about that.
They met for the first time ever last night at the NFL Awards, and I was going to segue a comment that was asked Wilson or Carr, and it was a perfect segue because Saints former coach Sean Payton, so we brought up Sean Payton, was a perfect segue for the Saints, who had Derek Carr for 2 days already, who's still in New Orleans as we speak. Look, that's quite possibly a match made in New Orleans, not heaven, obviously.
Look, I hope
there.
I hope Marcus Betts and Ramona Die and JPP, his ass is in here too. Because I was saying on their page, because they posted something about, it's almost a done deal. No, because they agreed on trade compensation. No, that the Raiders made any team in the NFL that wanted permission to speak with Derek Carr, that they had to agree on trade compensation before they were granted permission. So just because they agreed doesn't, I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but there was no trade imminent. Like, it's not a done deal just because they agreed on trade compensation.
But that wasn't.
I had a lengthy going back and forth with you know how that was.
But that wasn't the question. The question was.
But that one was on my chest all day today.
Trust me, if anybody knows the frustration level of that group that I am no longer associated with, it's me. I'm not throwing shade of that other group that I'm no longer associated with because it doesn't make sense to me. Okay, no shade here. What I'm saying is, okay, sorry.
Okay, now I'll answer the question.
I got you. Go ahead.
Carr, does he fit in New Orleans?
I think that's a good landing spot for him. I think he can rebrand himself and he'll do well. I think that the offense is built to where he'll do well there as well. The first thing they're going to have to do is repair that relationship with Michael Thomas and see if they can get him to play a few more games this year, other than the few he has only been able to muster up, the last 4 or 5 years?
Thomas is out.
Do they need him?
Yeah, Thomas.
They really don't need him because, Olave is pretty awesome. So I think it'll be a good fit for him, and especially with Kamara coming back, looking good, I think that'll be a good landing spot for him, and where he can start over. So
okay. So anyway, let's talk about Derek. No, you had your chance. You used it on that rant. We're moving on, sir.
That's okay. I got my rant on my chest.
Derek Carr's former team, the Raiders. The Raiders, as Chris Berman says. Does Aaron Rodgers go there? No. And I will preface it with, he right now is in a 4-day ayahuasca, locked in dark mode. We don't even know he's going to live past those 4 days, to be honest with you. But not that I'm killing Aaron Rodgers. I'm saying when he comes out of that, does he go to Las Vegas and reunites with Devontae Adams, who all of a sudden welcomes Aaron Rodgers back in his life? Now, go, Fleck.
No. I don't see it. It's gonna cost the Packers $36 million in dead cap to get rid of him. I think that was the number. I could be wrong.
Something like that.
I think he's either back in Green Bay or he retires. I don't think he gets traded at all.
Green Bay wants him gone.
Yeah, and that's why I said he's either back in
myself.
I mean, if they're willing to need that $36 million, then I guess, you know what I'm saying, I can see the Raiders.
They're done of the Aaron Rodgers business. They're done with
maybe
that.
He takes the Brett Favre route and goes to the Jets.
That's where I thought he should go.
We still don't know what happened to those millions of dollars that Brett Favre. I gotta take over for Jimmy.
I'm about to say where Jim at.
Where Jim at, Jim?
And he still hasn't given back that $5 million to
$5 million yet.
I got you, Jim.
And he sued Shannon Sharp and Pat McAfee. And Pat McAfee
defamation.
I saw that
Defamation. Which, yeah.
Pat McAfee went off, and it was hilarious this morning. I need to look that up, Pat McAfee.
Man, I love Pat McAfee, man. I love Pat McAfee.
Pat McAfee said, "Oh, well, they told me I had to apologize for 8:30 last night." He said, "I decided to go play pickleball, but that was more important." I thought that was funny. We got it. We spoke about the Raiders. We spoke about.
So who's that? Said how are the Raiders going to get him?
It's an easy trade.
They mean Rodgers.
Yeah, it's. I think it's an easy trade. I don't see Aaron Rodgers retiring the same as Brady. I agree. Tom Brady officially retired. R.I.P. Tom Brady's career officially
J.J. Watt didn't know that he had to do paperwork to.
He said that. And look, J.J. Watt said he will not be doing that paperwork, and he will.
Hilarious. Since we're on the subject of quarterbacks, this year it's the first time ever 2 black quarterbacks will play against each other in the Super Bowl. Again, we'll get to the Super Bowl eventually, but we're trying to do everything else, and then we're going to finish off the Super Bowl. That's okay, people. Okay? First time, Super Bowl. You know what? I want to do a quick history lesson for Black in Black History Month. The one non-black member is going to do it. I know it looks weird, but I'm not saying I'm qualified to do this.
You're officially adopted.
Okay, I'm not saying I qualified to do this, but these are all facts because we believe in the facts here in the All Sports Models.
Delegate. We're delegating that duty to you.
So I want to talk a little history since it is Black History Month, and we are talking about quarterbacks. Okay, 1969 was the first time the first black quarterback to ever appear, to ever start, not appear, to ever start an NFL game. His name is James Shaq Harris. Shaq, not S-H-A-Q, but Shaq as in State Shack, SHACK. Let's fast forward to 1988. Everybody knows about Doug Williams, first black quarterback to ever win a Super Bowl. This is huge, and the reason I'm emphasizing this is because if Jalen Hurts wins, he becomes the fourth black quarterback to ever win a Super Bowl. Okay, Patrick Mahomes already won one. He became the third. And yes, we know Patrick Mahomes is half black, half white, but it still counts, people. It still counts. More on the history lesson. 2001, Mike Vick was the first black quarterback selected #1 overall. That's 2001. Fast forward to 2003, Steve McNair and those Tennessee Titans fell a yard short that season, I believe. First black quarterback to win MVP. Yes, I know he shared it with Peyton Manning, but hey, that's still an honor nevertheless. Rest in peace, Steve McNair. Fast forward to 2006, the first black quarterback to be inducted to the Hall of Fame was?
What'd you say?
First black quarterback to be inducted to the Hall of Fame happened in 2006. Who was it?
Warren Moon?
Warren Moon. Yes, Warren Moon. And that is the history lesson of black quarterbacks. I'm not rooting for Jalen Hurts just because we're wanting to see more black quarterbacks, but this year, again, it's the first time two black quarterbacks are playing against each other in the Super Bowl. Just a start, you know? What you guys got on that side?
And then on the I mean, it's good for kids like, you know, that look like me that are coming up to see that, to know that it's possible. I mean, with the NFL now, you know what I'm saying, it's not as much like black quarterbacks have more of a chance now. It's not where, you know what I'm saying, back in the day, oh, he was a quarterback in college, he's fast, put him at receiver or put him at running back. You know, they're getting a chance to go out there and prove that, you know, they can play the position now. So it's huge, obviously, but it's not as big of a deal as it would have been maybe 20 years ago.
I missed out on the second black quarterback to win a Super Bowl, but it was kind of obvious, right? We talked about him already. Russell Wilson, right? You guys with me there?
Yeah. And
so,
and Rob, so even and this is another segue. So even if say we go out here and Pat Mahomes does what he does and wins, won't he be the first black quarterback to win 2 Super Bowls?
Yes, because they decided to throw the interception instead of handing it off to Marshawn Lynch.
There you go, my man. Already, it's incredible right now to see, you know, and especially young quarterbacks leading teams to Super Bowls. That's the most impressive part about it. These are young quarterbacks that have not been in the league very long, that have literally took a leadership role on their teams, and they're leading them to Super Bowls and being competitive.
Perfect segue, Rob.
It's amazing.
Perfect segue.
I really like it.
Patrick Mahomes, being 27 years old, just won his second MVP award last night at the NFL Honors. And I will quickly run through the list, and you guys tell me where did he get it wrong. Offensive Player of the Year, Justin Jefferson. Defensive Player of the Year went to Nick Bosa. MVP
right
was about Mahomes. And Coach of the Year, Brian Daboll.
I don't have an issue with Bosa winning Defensive Player of the Year. I have an issue with Michael Parsons not getting one vote for Defensive Player of the Year.
I don't understand that. How do you not give him one vote?
He didn't even get one vote.
No, he got a vote. He just didn't get not one first place vote.
Exactly.
That's even worse.
I know.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Even worse. Right.
But how does that happen?
And Lord knows, I despise the Cowboys, but talent is talent.
No, I don't like them.
And I
don't know how that happens though. How does that happen?
I believe that the Giants dropped the ball when they didn't draft Michael Parsons, and I do believe his second half of the season kind of hurt him a little bit because he was battling those injuries. He had broke his hand. You know, he only had 6. Yes, only 6 sacks second half of the season. Like that's a lot in itself. And I
Yeah.
understand. You know, somebody said Hassan Reddick had 6 sacks the last 2 games of the season or something like that. I haven't verified. Don't quote me on that. I'm just looking at the comments. No, I'm a Michael Parsons fan. I just hate that he went to the Cowboys. Obviously, I like Michael Parsons when he was at Penn State. I had zero issues. I wish the Giants would have dropped him, like I said. First time we've seen 2 black quarterbacks face off. First time we've seen brothers face off.
I like that. Yeah.
The Kelce boys.
Do you think they should
Huh?
Do you think they should let their mom do the coin toss?
They already said they wasn't. They were.
Well, I know that's why I'm asking.
Right. I thought she. Yeah,
I thought it would have been because it's not like she's flipping with intent because she's got a son on each side, so I thought it would have been like
right?
Yeah, so I thought it would have been something like pretty cool, but no fun league.
Yeah, definitely the no fun league, man. Saw the penalties they got for the coin toss. Joe Mixon did, which was hilarious to me. So he got fined for that, which is crazy. But yeah, we mentioned the brothers Travis Kelce and Jason Kelce playing for the Eagles and Chiefs. So here we are. Who you got winning and why? Take it away, fellas.
Go ahead, Rob. I'll let you start.
I think it's going to be an incredible game. Depending on how healthy the receiver core is with Kansas City, because I know they took everybody off. There's no injury designation for none of the wide receivers for Kansas City this week. So depending on how durable they'll be.
He's out, right? Because he was put on injury reserve.
He's out. He's just out. But
Tony, he might not play.
But I just saw earlier today they moved all of the injury designations off of Tony and who else was it? Pacheco. So, but it's going to be interesting to see who plays and how long, and if they can make it through. I have Philly winning it. I think they're just hot right now, and I think they are on a tear. That defense is playing on all cylinders. Their offense looks so complete. It's going to be hard to get by them. So I'm thinking it's going to be a good game, but I have Philly winning it in a close one. I say the score ends up being 24-21. I say they win. I just
want to say that we do not advocate for scripts here in the NFL. We don't think they're scripted. At the All Sports Matters podcast, carry on. What you got, Fleck?
I like the Eagles as well. I think the Eagles are the one team that can match Patrick Mahomes point for point. When you got a 1A and a 1B receiver, those Kansas City DBs are going to be tested. They are going to be tested.
The guy that came from Tennessee, right? Is he 1A or 1B?
He's 1A. I love AJ, and that pushed me. I think he ends up Super Bowl MVP. I'll take it one step further. I think AJ Brown gets Super Bowl MVP. I like Philly winning. It'll be close, like Rob said. I think Philly wins by 10. I think it's going to be like a 31-21, 38-28 type game.
I like it.
You done?
Yeah.
I'm torn on this one, if I'm being completely honest with you. I'm going to talk about the things I'm torn about first. How healthy is Mahomes' ankle? I'm going to start there. The Chiefs literally or as my baby Chachi would like to say, literally limped into the Super Bowl. They didn't blow anybody out. They struggled. They barely beat these teams. And I get it. There was good teams. They're supposed to, but that was the Chiefs all season. This is not, and it's hard for me to say that. That's why I'm struggling, because they lost Tyreek Hill and got better. So I'm torn. I'm confused. Mahomes got better, but the team necessarily didn't. So you saw them skating by all season, winning like they're supposed to, because they're winners. The Chiefs are winners. I'm not taking that from them. And I don't want to put down the Eagles, and I don't want to put down the Chiefs. Just like I don't want to put down LeBron, and I don't want to put, what I'm saying? Like, I don't. That's why I'm torn. If there, and you said it, if there's ever a team that can match Patrick Mahomes, is these Eagles. Here's where I'm torn about the Eagles. I don't know if the game's going to be bigger than Jalen Hurts. The last time we seen Jalen Hurts play a game this big, he got benched for Tua. Yeah, I'm going back that far. Okay?
No, because he came in and saved one of them, though.
Yeah, he did.
He came back and saved one.
Yeah, and
I'm talking about the one that
in the SEC
beat,
championship
when they
game.
beat Georgia, that was Tua.
He beat him again the next year.
Yeah,
He came back in when Tua got hurt.
Yeah.
Again, I'm saying that's the game I'm thinking about. Is the game bigger than Jalen Hurts? Because I'm gonna tell you why. Monday Night Football, he looked like trash against the Commanders. A regular game against the Colts, they came back and won by 1. It was like 14-13 or something like that. Jalen Hurts can put up some stinkers. I'm only being skeptical. I'm not saying that's going to happen. Work with me, fellas. I'm saying these are the things that I'm skeptical about. Which Jalen Hurts are we going to get? Because we can't base it off of the NFC Championship game, because that 49ers team didn't have a quarterback. Not Eagles' fault. I get it. Not the Eagles' fault.
I guess for me, it comes down to that Eagles defense being better than that Chiefs defense.
And I was going to get there.
With Mahomes, like you said, on a gimpy ankle. With McCole Hardman not playing. They get CEH back. I guess that helps them.
I don't know what that.
I don't know how, but they get him back.
I don't need him. I don't understand that either.
Yeah. But will that line be able to? Because that Philly D line is nasty.
It's insane.
That Philly D line is nasty.
The moment they picked up Linval Joseph and Ndamukong Suh, that was like.
Will that Chiefs O-line be able to block long enough for a gimpy Mahomes? Granted, Mahomes doesn't need.
He's gimpy, obviously.
Huh?
Assuming he's actually gimpy, we don't know.
I mean, dude has a high ankle sprain. I mean, he's had time to rest up but it's a high ankle sprain. How like that dude? He's an alien. I will give him that, right? Because high ankle sprains we see taking guys out for 4 to 6 weeks, and he came back and played the next week.
Well, we don't want to upset Tony Romo when he called Josh Allen the alien. For the record, we want to throw that out there. Go ahead.
Anywho, is he healthy?
Who may or may not use the N-word in the AFC Championship game. We just want to throw it out there.
Stop it.
You're right.
Oh,
is he healthy? That's it. That's the point.
Okay. I agree.
Will get at him.
I agree with you guys. Find out. I agree with you guys completely. I'm with you, Rob. I'm with you, Fleck. I just started out with what can go wrong.
Hardy, now I'm talking about what can go right. Podcast. How many podcasts has he watched that we've done?
Yeah.
Because me and you both do it every week.
Hey, if I got 455 hats, I'm going to.
I ain't got 450. I might have the 55. I got the 455. I might have the 55.
I was trying to be an analyst, and I only started with what could go wrong. Now, I'm going to tell you what's about to go right. Eagles run game, 8-0, I believe, this season when Miles Sanders scores a touchdown. I'm going to start that off. Their run game has been incredibly. What the hell was that?
I don't understand what just happened.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on
With what?
over there. Kenneth Gainwell. So what running game? I'm gonna stop my soliloquy. I'm gonna say, what running game would you rather have? Miles Sanders and Kenneth Gainwell, or I guess the three-headed monster now since CHE is coming back with Isaiah Pacheco and Jared McKinnon. Let's you know what? Let's do that. We already know which wide receiver core we want. What running back core would we rather have?
McKinnon's been quiet lately. He had that one stretch where he was like really, really hot, but he's been quiet lately. I haven't heard much out of him.
He fell off.
Pacheco's that obviously CEH has been out forever. So at this point, I guess Phillies with Miles Sanders hasn't done much as of late either, though. So you have to throw Jalen Hurts in there as a runner too, though.
And Pat Mahomes
is not going to be able to,
and he may not run as much as he used to, but he still runs. But
so
it's a toss up.
Philly. Even though I like Pacheco. That dude is a violent runner. I like Pacheco.
I like him too.
I agree. So I think I have an obvious answer, but Goddard is no scrub at tight end.
No.
Goddard or Kelsey?
Yeah, Kelsey.
Yeah. Not even a question.
I knew the answer, but I had to ask.
Mm-hmm. Right, okay. and we're answering very like, why are you asking that?
Like matter of factly.
Let's go special teams, and that includes the kicker.
So what?
Harrison Butker, Tank Elliott, which they barely have to kick field goals. All they do is score touchdowns over there in Philly.
I think Butker has the stronger leg.
He has the stronger leg.
So I think I go Butker.
Yeah.
So Philly, Kansas City, KC.
But it's weird because Philly's special teams.
Right. I was about to say, but then you said the entire unit. So
yeah, when you talk about the whole unit, Philly's special team is nice.
Because if I'm not mistaken, Kadarius Toney is doing the returns for
him and McKinnon. Also, we got McKinnon and Sky Moore.
That's another good one.
KC, I guess KC.
Yeah, they're all speedsters over there too.
Yeah.
That's good. The reason I brought up the special teams is it might come down to that. Special teams, field position. If Eagles are messing with a shorter field, that's definitely an advantage for Philly. They don't have to go 80 yards every time. It's definitely an advantage. You already mentioned the defense. I might be able to knock that over the head. Our Philly defense is sick. And I think Frank Jones and Frank Jones.
Chris Jones. Chris Jones,
and Frank Clark. There we go. I know it's two different people. Mm-hmm. I put them together. I melted them together. But I know that Chiefs defensive line has been doing work.
Yeah. I'm not knocking the Chiefs defense. I think that secondary is going to get exposed.
It's possible. And they have
that's I think that's secondary. I mean, you got, Devontae Smith, you got my boy AJ Brown. Like that.
That wasn't a catch, by the way, but they didn't throw the flag, but whatever.
Like I said, I think AJ Brown wins Super Bowl MVP.
So let's talk about the coaches. Andy Reid and second-year head coach Sirianni. Nick Sirianni.
It's hard to pick against Santa.
Yeah. I mean,
he's done that. He's proven, you know what I mean? Like
the Hamburglar does it again. I mean,
will the moment be too big for Sirianni?
Here's what I got to bring up, though. I do have to put up a disclaimer that yes, he's just a second-year head coach, but Doug Peterson was a first-year head coach that beat Belichick in that Super Bowl.
Yeah, but if we would have had this discussion, Bill Belichick or
Doug Peterson.
how many of us would have said Doug Peterson over Belichick?
I'll take Belichick over.
And that's what I'm saying. So it's like it's hard to pick against the guys that have proven themselves.
A quick side note before we get sidetracked. Since we are on the coaching staff, Eric Bieniemy obviously is in the run, which it's just insane to me. He's in the running for other offensive coordinator positions. But
Right.
why would he leave KC if that's the position he's going to?
Because I don't think he will be seriously considered for a head coaching job until he gets from under Andy Reid. Because everybody feels like that offense clicks the way it does because of Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, and Bieniemy just happens to be there.
I think that's the same thing that happened to Leftwich that's happening to him, because people don't believe Leftwich is a true offensive coordinator because he was under Bruce Arians. They don't believe that Bieniemy is a true offensive coordinator because he's under Andy Reid. Until they go somewhere where they're not under someone who's offensive minded, I think
that until they go somewhere where we know 100% that they're the ones calling the game.
Yeah,
calling the game. Because like right now, we don't know how much of that is Andy Reid, how much of that is Patrick Mahomes freestyling. We don't know. And I'm not saying that it's fair either. Like it's very unfair to
completely.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not let me. I don't want anybody to think that I am piling on the enemy, but I don't think that what I'm saying. And fair or not fair, I don't think anybody is going to take him seriously as a head coaching candidate until he can get from under Andy Reid and proves himself.
Yeah,
it's not fair, and it's all kinds of screwed up. I don't agree with it. You know what I'm saying? I think that he should have a chance to coach a team, but I mean perception.
If he leaves, all signs are pointing to him going to Baltimore. Right now,
where we know that he will call offense because
he would definitely call offense. Where in Baltimore,
little brother Harbaugh ain't
he
ain't calling no offensive plays.
He is no offensive schemes whatsoever.
Well, hold on, but this Patriots fan says coaching trees matter, but Josh McDaniels can't get it together without Tom Brady. So, how is that fair?
And
that boy's hot boo boo.
And we've already established that he will film your plays, and he will film your practices and set the scheme up for Sunday football. So let's just be clear.
While we're talking about offensive court, okay, go ahead. I ain't even going to take this.
I was going to start ranting again. No. I was trying to stay within the
Super Bowl
realm of the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's why I said I'm not gonna do that.
The reason I got sidetracked because Eric Bieniemy is the offensive coordinator to the Chiefs. I didn't want to move further with Cliff Kingsbury or who's going to be the future coach of the Arizona Cardinals and how much Sean Payton
or the Colts. The Colts still don't have a coach.
And how much Sean Payton hates Kyler Murray, he won't say it directly, and that's why he took the job. And
or why Mike Vrabel keeps hiring his buddies.
I saw that was coming. I saw it coming.
Who would you rather have at quarterback, Patrick Mahomes or Jalen Hurts?
Patrick Mahomes. That one's not even.
It's Mahomes.
I like Jalen. Don't get me wrong.
I love Jalen. I love Jalen.
Patrick Mahomes he's generational.
Yeah.
Like when it's all said and done, Patrick Mahomes could go down as what's my name today? The GOAT.
Yeah.
When it's all said and done.
Even if he doesn't get 7 Super Bowls like Tom Brady?
When it's all said and done.
I'm saying, what if he doesn't get 7 Super Bowls?
He's not even 20, he's 27?
He's
27.
So he still has 14 years maybe left.
I hope so, because I need it for fantasy football.
So
he is. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. When it's all said and done,
which, by the way, my championship no longer has an asterisk by it. I removed it off the template. I just want to throw it out there.
They definitely do. But that's not what we're talking about.
I haven't picked a team yet because I'm torn. This one is hard to pick. Eagles have the best all-around squad. I give them. There's no doubt about it.
I want Harding to answer that question. You keep going, but I want Harding to tell me why he's not playing into his 40s. Go ahead.
Why won't he? At this point, why wouldn't people are taking care of their bodies more now than ever before? The quarterbacks are not being hit like ever before. You know,
and his game isn't predicated on him being able to be this escape artist either. So his game will age well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But go ahead with your prediction, Amir.
I honestly don't have one. That's how hard it is for me to pick this team. This game, sorry. I want the Chiefs to win because I personally like the Chiefs because they've been winning me championships after championships of fantasy football. But this Eagles team is complete, man. And I just want to see what kind of Jalen Hurts we get. If he's cool, calm, and collected Jalen Hurts, who wins the national championship like he has, and the Chiefs are in trouble. If Patrick Mahomes comes out and runs the clock and keeps the ball away from the Eagles, that's what they have to do. Keep the ball away, run the clock down, just take your time and be old-fashioned quarterback.
But that's not Mahomes' game, though.
That's really not that game. That's not
the
KC
to
game.
coach that way. This is about coaching, not about Mahomes. Because you have to keep the ball out of the Eagles' hand. The Eagles march down the field like ain't no other. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want the Eagles to match the Chiefs' offense. My issue with the Chiefs this season is they scored 24 points the first half, and they might only get a field goal the second half. That's been the Chiefs' demise some reason this year. And I don't see that changing anytime soon. With that being said, 27-24, Eagles. I hate that, but I have to. I had to do it. I couldn't think about it. I just had to split it out. Whatever came first, that's what I'm going to go with. I will be rooting, and I will be wearing red on Sunday because everybody knows I'm a Chiefs fan by default for fantasy purposes. But this Eagles team is just too good. They just look too good on paper. They look too good on the field. Hassan Reddick is just killing people left and right.
Defense, period, man.
That defense on a whole is just crazy.
Darius Slade, James Bradbury in the secondary is shut people.
Yeah, that defense, period, man, is nice. And then what's unfair is that Eagles team is that dang good, and they get a top 10 pick in the draft.
Yes.
Yeah. They get number 10.
That's crazy.
Where do you think they're gonna go?
They have no holes, so they could go out and get you know what I'm saying, where running backs aren't valued in the first round. Go get a Robinson from Texas.
Can you imagine Bijan Robinson on that squad?
Woo! God, Miles Sanders, and I say that because Miles Sanders is a free agent after this year.
Yeah,
and you may not want to pay him running back money when you got a
young stud like
generational talent coming into the draft that will be in your range at 10.
So I'm gonna answer this question because David's my best friend here. Isn't Aaron Rodgers about to hit 40 and he's not a mobile quarterback, but he is? That's the same thing as Mahomes. Mahomes not a mobile quarterback. He just get out of the pocket. Yeah. So what are you talking about, David? What are you talking about?
And he doesn't take hits. Mahomes does not.
And that's the thing.
Real hits. He protects himself.
And with the NFL is moving more toward protecting quarterbacks.
Yes.
So by return, they're gonna be able to play longer because they're not getting, like Rob and Amir said, they're not getting hit as much. They're not getting hit nearly as much as the Steve Youngs back in the day. You know what I'm saying? They're not getting hit as much.
Right. No.
He's just hating because the Chiefs, been beating the crap out of the Patriots all these seasons, and that's all it is. He's just hate. Get over yourself, sir. You're gonna be the bottom of the division for the next 10 years. Let's Jets figure out the quarterback situation, which may not be anytime soon. We'll see. Actually, let's take the football real quick. Class of 2023 Hall of Fame class has been announced, right? Did we forget about that, or I'm trying to talk about Darrelle Revis? Who am I missing? Darrelle Revis, Joe Thomas,
Rondé Barber, Joe Thomas, Pat Thomas, Marcus Ware.
Hold on, I'm going back to it myself.
Joe Klecko,
Don Corleo,
Chuck Howley, and Ken Riley.
Ken Riley.
Who missed out, and that should have been there. Any snubs?
Hmm, I don't think I wouldn't say snubs, but until they can clean up that wide receiver bottleneck they got going right now, unless
Wait,
you have some in legendary stats that separate you from the rest of the other wide receivers, it's 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 always going to feel like a snub when you don't have wide receivers in the hall. But then, like Dion said, are
How was
we
Devin
just getting to
Hester?
a
How
point?
did Devin Hester not get in?
Oh
who?
no, never mind. That is a snub. I don't
Who?
understand how he's
How
not
did
in there.
Devin
Hester.
Hester not get in?
Oh,
Devin
Devin
Hester. How
He
did Devin Hester
definitely
not
should have
get
been a first balloter.
in? Even though he didn't play long, and I'm not talking about Hester now. He didn't play long, but he had an impactful career. Patrick Willis.
Was this his first year eligibility?
I think it's the second year.
I thought his first year was next year. Because I could have swore they were talking about him for next year's ballot, and he's a no-brainer for first ballot. Hold on, I gotta look that up.
Is he a no-brainer?
Yeah,
Because he
His impact,
didn't make it this year. So
his impact, yeah, it should be a no-brainer. Even though he only had a small window of time, what he did on the field, it should
hey,
be pretty much a no-brainer.
and Rob, you kind of touched on this with the wide receiver bottleneck. Torrey Holt.
That's the one that always comes to mind. How? How is he not?
Well, if Michael
He
Irvin had
got
to
the
wait
numbers.
He
got the
has the
numbers.
40
numbers.
years, and T.O. had to wait 8 years.
Exactly. That's why I said Rob touched on the wide receiver bottleneck. Wide receiver, I don't know why it's
refuse
so
to
hard
give
for
out
receivers
first
to get
time.
in.
They refuse to give out first time unless you're Jerry Rice or Art
Yeah,
Monk or
man.
something.
So,
Uh,
like when y'all said Patrick Willis, this is his fourth year of eligibility for the Hall of Fame and his
See?
second year as a finalist.
That's what I thought. The second year. That's what I thought he was.
That's crazy, man. Yeah.
But the
All
biggest
right, Rob.
for me, the biggest snub was Devin Hester. How did
Rob,
Devin Hester not make it?
I'm gonna throw this to you. This is your note. The Big 12 reached an agreement to allow OSU Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. I don't know
Oklahoma.
where he got
I
OSU
shouldn't
from.
have put the S. That was my fault. Oklahoma.
Yeah, you
Oklahoma
threw me
and
off
Texas.
on that one. Yeah, you
I
threw
threw
me
you
off.
off.
There's no S
That's
in
my
Oklahoma.
fault.
Yeah, I saw that earlier too, and I was like, what? But
Yeah.
then I was like, okay, I knew what he meant though.
He
To
knew
join
it.
the SEC in 2024 instead of 2025. Talk to me, Rob. How big is that?
That's
going
pretty
on?
huge for Oklahoma and Texas, because that's a part of their recruiting pitch now, and be able to now be a part of the SEC and creating that super conference that they likely we're going to have now in 2024. It's going to be incredibly hard to maneuver like before, and they're talking about getting rid of now the East and West conferences to
They
where it's
should.
just one giant SEC conference,
I
and
agree.
only the top two play in the SEC conference finals championship. Excuse me.
I agree.
So,
Georgia didn't play nobody. Don't get
well,
mad
if
at
you,
John Marshall. I said what I said.
and I'm gonna say that, and John Marshall knows this. If you thought Georgia didn't play nobody last year, wait until you see their schedule this year. Their schedule this year, I have never in my life. If Georgia gets close to losing a game this year, it'll be a miracle. It will be a miracle.
So,
But 2024, and they're going to pay that $100 million to be able to leave early to the Big 12, and yeah, it's going to be quite interesting.
is Arch Manning first year would be in the SEC, correct?
No,
How
his
big
first year is this year.
No, he's already on campus.
He's on campus already,
is he? I
and
thought he had
yeah,
one more
We don't know if he's gonna play though, because
Yeah.
Quinn Ewers
Ewers.
is the
he's
projected
the man.
starter.
And yours is no slouch, and unless Arch comes on campus and blows everyone completely away,
Right.
he's not going to get that position from yours. Yours is he's rooted in that position. He knows the playbook well. He has a great rapport with Sark, and he's the captain of that team. So I think
I want to see if Archie Manning lives up to the hype.
We're going to find out real fast.
Because in Louisiana, he played in one of the lowest classifications. So
it's going to be fun to see.
A lot of his, I don't want to say, his last name carried a lot of weight.
Oh yeah.
If his name was Archie Smith, would he be as recruited, as highly?
That's his name. I thought it was just Arch.
It's Arch.
It's Arch. Is he Archie? It's Arch.
No, it's Arch. Arch.
Yeah,
Arch.
Okay, if he was Arch Smith, would he be as highly recruited as Arch Manning?
No,
of course not. Peyton Manning's 7-year-old son throwing bombs at the Pro Bowl.
To Justin Jefferson, I saw that.
Yeah,
he about to find an NIL with somebody. As his name carries weight.
Right.
So I guess we'll briefly discuss college basketball.
We didn't talk about D'Amico Ryans to the Texans. We didn't talk about that one.
I should have mentioned it. Yes, that's huge.
That's big. Huh?
Yeah, he chose Houston over Denver. Which is crazy to me.
Kellen Moore is the new OC for the Chargers.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm trying to move past the NFL.
I know. I was just trying to get that in before you moved.
And Kellen Moore ain't nobody. But let's see how better Justin Herbert gets. Maybe he'll join a top 5 elite club eventually that other people have been mentioning. Not going to say any names, but whatever. Fine, you open a can of worms. Does he get better? Justin Herbert. Does he get better with Kellen Moore?
I don't know.
Good question.
I don't know. I'm not the one who's advocating for him like that, so I don't know. Yes, he yeah. I mean, in my opinion, he's already top 10. So
yes, Marcus Betts. We know he's already good. The question was, does he get better with Kellen Moore?
Okay, so in order for you to say that, so what are we talking here? Does he get into what are we talking here?
Does he get into top 5?
Like I said, I think he's already top 10, and that's good.
Get in top 5.
Give me your top 5 quarterbacks. Right.
Yeah, that's my question. What's the top 5 going to be?
Mahomes, Burrow, Allen. I put Allen in the top 5. You know, he's turnover frenzy. I'm torn with Aaron Rodgers. Obviously, he's slipping down. You know, Brady after the season he had the year before last would have been, but now he didn't finish top 5. Obviously, it's hard. I guess he can already be in the top 5. No, Jalen Hurts.
And see, for me, if you include Josh Allen in your top 5, how do you not have Dak Prescott? They're the same player.
Their
stats are very
dynamic. Josh Allen is a quarterback and their running back. It's not Dak's fault. He just learned how to run in the playoffs again. He hasn't ran since before he broke his ankle. You know, so Dak is not top 5, and I'm not doing this to crap.
No. I agree with you.
He's not in my top 5, and he's barely in my top 10 if I'm being honest.
Speaking of not lasting long, that style of play that Josh Allen plays,
I don't see it. I don't know how. Maybe because he's a big boy, he can take the hits more. But I don't know what he's risking, why he's risking it. That's beyond me.
Buffalo desperately needs to get a running game that doesn't involve running Josh Allen that hard.
That's the crazy part about it. They have a running game. Singletary is a good runner. Moss is a good runner. I don't understand why Josh Allen has to run. I don't get it.
Moss
I think it's play calling. That's play calling. That's play calling. That's not running backs.
They got a Dalvin Cook little brother.
They got Cook, the one that was at Georgia.
It's another.
Oh, and Betts, I see what you were saying about Hurts on his rookie contract, but they already talking about he's going to get a new contract extension this summer, so that's probably about to change.
I
want
would
to lock him
definitely
in
before Burrow
now.
and gets his
Bingo, because today's price is not yesterday's price. That's all it's going to say about that.
Herbert and Burrow are both going to get 50. I think they're both going to be the first.
They're going to be
year averages.
They're going to be up there. They're going to be up there. If they don't get 50, they're going to be right there at 50.
Huh?
Rodgers already at 50. And Russell Wilson's at 49.
Rodgers is at but his actual number is like 36.
That's the cap hit.
Cap hit.
That's AAV is okay. Yeah.
I'm saying he's making 50, just like Russell Wilson making 49. I don't know how he's making 49. He's making 49. You know, so
by theft, by stealing.
Yeah, it's about to reset, and I think everybody's going to wait.
The quarterback.
I think everybody's going to wait on Lamar Jackson.
And I keep forgetting about him.
Yeah, and he's going to be.
And they say, hey, so what you brought him up? Will he be back in Baltimore?
So they'll franchise
him, but they're like $100 million off, according to reports.
And people don't realize they only offered him $133 million fully guaranteed, which is completely bananas. And that's why he didn't.
230 guaranteed.
And even if he doesn't get the 230, which he probably will now, he probably will get to 230. They should have offered him way more than they offered him for that contract. That fully guaranteed.
I totally agree.
Well, not fully guaranteed, but the guaranteed portion.
So what does Baltimore's cap space look like? What does their cap situation look like? Because if you give the reason I'm asking is because if you give Lamar, probably 45 to 50 mil a year, you still need receivers.
Yeah, and that's the problem. Right now, what's happening is Baltimore is going to start clearing out space because that wide receiver room needs to be revamped ASAP, and they need to get either some people in the free agency market that or trade or something, because we are in need of dependable wide receiver one type caliber individuals. You can't just have a former MVP out there throwing to the Pop Warner League wide receivers. You got patchwork here, patchwork there, and you got an all-world tight end. It's not going to work. And yeah, the running back committee we just can't keep them healthy. They just can't be healthy. So that turns around and makes it to where Lamar's going to end up getting killed unless, and I saw something today that blew my mind. They were talking about, one of the pundits was saying that Baltimore should trade with Miami and get Tua. No.
I saw that.
That is the dumbest concept I've ever heard of.
Well, it's fully cleared, by the way. Just want to throw that out there as well.
Why? There's no reason to even entertain such foolishness. No. And as far as the OC,
they don't have one yet.
We ain't got one yet. So we're looking to get one. And right now we're waiting on Bieniemy. I'm pretty positive that's what's going on, because I think they're going to go in an all-out blitz to get Bieniemy as the OC. So a lot has to change with Baltimore.
If I'm Bieniemy, I'll stay where I'm at.
I'd leave, honestly. If I were him, I'd go to Baltimore, and I would show.
I would too, only because I think that's the only way he's going to be taken seriously for head coaching jobs, is to get from under Andy Reid and prove that he can run an offense. Because if he goes to Baltimore, that's his show.
Yeah,
because John Harbaugh damn sure ain't running it. Not offense. So that would be his offense to run.
It's the perfect setup for him. Yep.
They did not change OCs. They're going to change OCs. They haven't signed a new offensive coordinator down in Baltimore yet. So
Yeah,
You
Rob.
know,
I mean, Betts. They ain't got. They haven't
yeah,
changed those.
they have not signed.
That's why I was
Offensive-
saying about we're waiting on Bieniemy because I saw that comment in
Yeah,
there.
no, I was reading the comments though.
They
and-
fired their OC,
Yeah,
Yeah.
we went
but they
ahead and
haven't
terminated.
hired one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's vacant. They haven't changed it yet. I'm saying it's vacant. The job is vacant right now.
Yeah, we needed Roman. We needed Greg Roman gone. I was just over him.
But it was time to. Was it time to change?
Yes, Lord. Because literally the word around the NFL was wide receivers did not want to come to Baltimore because it's not a wide receiver. It's not a wide receiver friendly offense. It was a run first offense.
It's not, but Baltimore can't stay healthy. Why isn't that not the subject of the conversation when you're speaking of the Ravens?
Well, that's also the problem.
Falling apart left and right. Jackson can't stay healthy.
Well, how can you stay healthy when you got to run all the time? You know, so again, you running the ball first, pass second, and then the dominant receiver is your tight end. It's a tight end running back friendly team. Look at the draft last year. We go out and we draft 2 tight ends. And then I was like, what are we doing? I like Likely. I think Likely is amazing, but
yeah, y'all got a stud in Isaiah Likely.
I love him. I think Likely is going to be amazing. But the thing is, we had the opportunity to get dominant wide receivers, and we didn't take the opportunity. We had the opportunity to get even more help on the offensive line. We didn't take advantage of it. So, I mean, things have to change.
Okay, since we're talking about offensive coordinators, and we have some Cowboys fans that just chimed in, we're not stalling for time. We're enjoying what we do. The Cowboys get better with their new offensive coordinator. And I don't have a say in this matter because I can give 2 craps, 2 pisses in a bucket, as they say, whatever it is. Yeah. Do they get better? They kept McCarthy. They hired Martin there? No, Schottenheimer. Brian Schottenheimer is the new offensive coordinator over there in Cowboys.
I don't think they should have been. They should have got rid of Kellen Moore. That's just me.
I'm just concerned that I think Kellen Moore was the fall
No
guy.
question. No question.
You know, nobody wanted to blame Dak. Everybody has his back. But who should have shouldered that blame? And they had a good season, obviously. We're not taking that from them. But the question is, can they get better?
Not as long as Jerry Jones is the owner GM.
Right.
Because I just feel like he's still gonna have his hand in the pot too much. Like I feel like that franchise is being held back by Jerry Jones at this point.
Losing Amari Cooper was huge. That was
insane.
That was so.
I could be wrong. I'm not a Cowboys fan. But
obviously we always fall back to the Cowboys because that's who surrounds us all the freaking time. Cowboys Nation. Obviously, live in Texas, so we're not talking about our people.
I want to know before you go on. I want to know how, because I know there's at least 3 or 4 Cowboys fans in the comments right now. I want to know how they feel about Jerry Jones. Like, I want to know how they feel about Jerry Jones. Q, I know both of y'all are out there. I want to know how y'all feel about Jerry Jones specifically.
You better not talk about Dallas Jesus like that.
And that's why I'm asking them. I want them to tell me. I mean, I feel the way I feel about it, but I don't follow that team the way Betts or Q does.
I will put my 2 cents in this. You know why? Because even if Jerry Jones is gone, Stephen Jones is Jerry Jones Jr. It's not going to change. The only thing Stephen Jones did that was beneficial to the Dallas Cowboys was they did not draft Johnny Manziel like Jerry Jones wanted. That was the only time Stephen Jones was like, oh, hell no. We ain't going after Manziel. Outside of that, he's done everything Jerry Jones would have done and more, and he thinks the same way Jerry Jones does. Stephen Jones ain't going to be no better. He's the same guy.
I want to know how these Cowboys fans feel about Jerry Jones. I hear what you're saying. I totally hear what you're saying. I don't follow them. I want to know what they think about it.
I get it, man. We can read and
we can keep going.
The comments here. We're reading the comments for the people.
We can keep going. I mean, we can keep the show rolling.
No. I don't want to have
looking at the comments.
Right. I'm trying to read the comments here. Steven is not like Jerry. Jerry used to be a gambler. Steven doesn't take chances. Nah, Steven is nothing like Jerry. Look, I'm gonna say they draft well. The Cowboys draft well, very well.
Mm-hmm.
But Jerry Jones cannot stay out of the coaching. Like, he cannot stay. Like, he wants to be the owner, the GM, and the coach. Like, he want. Like, for me, it feels like I don't like to be. You know what I'm saying? I don't like to be micromanaged. You hired me to do a job. Get out of my way. Let me do my job. And I feel like that's why Jimmy Johnson left Dallas. I feel like that's why Barry Switzer left that. Like, everybody that had a voice that wasn't Jerry Jones's yes man, he ran them off. You know what I'm saying? Like, he needs those puppets. Like, I feel like Mike McCarthy is his puppet.
I'm just hoping. Actually, I am hoping that Stephen Jones is exactly like Jerry Jones for the next 50 years, or how old he may be. So we are almost out of time. Granted, we're not really on a time restraint because we do what we do and we talk sports like none other. Okay. We started the show. We do a little recap. We all agreed that Michael Jordan was that guy, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar didn't get the credit that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar deserves. We're not taking a dump on LeBron James. We all agree that he is great in his time, right, which is right now, obviously. We discussed the Super Bowl, which we should have started with, but we did it because basketball dominated in the news. Super Bowl Sunday, people. For those that are in the comments, we have got Cowboys or Cowboys. See, that's why I don't want to talk Cowboys.
Eagles and Chiefs. Eagles and Chiefs.
This is why I'm breaking out right now. I feel a little hive coming on because we're talking too much Cowboys. That's how I feel. You know what I'm saying? Hair, shit, I'm not bald up whatsoever. I got all my hair. I just don't see it because it's always covered. I sleep with a hat on.
I've been cut my hair.
About you.
I care nothing about it. I've been cut mine.
Yeah. Small notes, because here all sports do matter. Tiger Woods is returning next week, and we're not going to spend much time on that. Just to say that we hope he can finish the tournament. We know health issues has been his downfall for the last few years. We're hoping his leg holds up as well as his back. His back has been an issue. His legs has been. And I don't know if you guys realize Tiger Woods Jr. I don't know his name, but that Charlie Woods.
Charlie Woods.
Yeah, he's nice.
He is. Holy nice. Oh, yes. I've seen the videos. Nice. He's definitely. World Baseball Classic. The rosters were announced yesterday, and United States team is looking amazing. I will say that much, and I think it's going to come down to the United States and Dominican Republic. And I'm being biased. I really don't know the Asian teams like I'm supposed to, I guess.
Because isn't Japan like the two-time champ?
Dominicans won, and then Japan won again, and United States won. I think the United States won last time, or something like that. I don't know. I should know better, and I apologize. I am not in season. I will be in season March 14th. Is the day for Pride and Passion Baseball Talk. We'll be back in season March 14th, Thursdays. Catch me there, and I will not be alone, at least not as much anyway. My brothers, when they can, will be joining me, as well as others. These shows is open to the public. If you guys want to come debate with us, it's open. All Sports Matters, Pride and Passion Talk. Give us the word. We'll send on a link. Come sit with us. We're 5 minutes on the Cowboys. That's it. We're moving on. That's a disclaimer when we debate. 5 minutes on the Cowboys. We are moving on. 5 minutes on LeBron. 5 minutes on the Cowboys. We're done. We're going to move on. We're not talking about any longer than what we have to. Okay, fellas, you got anything?
Don't forget, hey, get your brackets together. Start focusing. March Madness is right around the corner. In fact, 2 weeks from now, about. And right now, the top four trying to figure out what the number one seeds are going to look like. There's 3 teams that look really strong, and trying to figure out who that fourth one will be is going to be quite interesting.
I got 2 questions for you, Rob. Since you've been the college basketball aficionado of the group, how does Purdue lose and keep their number one seed?
In a close one.
And second question, how do you feel about that game that we all watched Bama getting their ass beat by Oklahoma?
They deserved it. They deserved every piece
not
of it.
making the playoffs, and how do they hold on to the number one spot?
So this is the thing. That Oklahoma game, they deserved that beat down because they did not play well. I think they were buying into the hype that they were better than everybody else. I think they got a little too comfortable, and they didn't buy into the hard work that is needed to maintain that slot. And so they took a beat down, and they got what they deserved. But they turned right back around, got back on track. They dropped down. They did drop down, but they fought their way back. And of course, you got teams like Tennessee losing, the Vanderbilt, and other teams, getting beat during that time frame that pushed them back up. And they're still undefeated in conference play. I mean, you could say what you want to say, but Alabama's still undefeated.
Tennessee lost to them too.
Tennessee did lose to them, and we just beat them and put them away recently this week. And
why are you bringing up old stuff?
So it's going to come down to, in the end, how well does Alabama finish the season, as well as how well does Alabama go into the SEC playoff. If they can pull it off and they can continue winning, they're going to be a hands down number one seed. They're already pretty much a lot for the number one because, I mean, they have some major wins this season. So, so it's going to come down to it. But the Purdue staying number one, they lost on the road in a very hostile environment. And I think they ended up going into overtime, if I'm not mistaken, and lost to, a feisty Indiana team. And it was a close loss. It wasn't a blowout. So naturally, I figured they were going to end up staying number one. And they're a good team. They're just a really, really good team, really solid squad. So it's going to come down in the end when they start handing out those number one seeds. It's going to come down to, how well does Alabama finish? Does it Purdue stay strong? Does it Houston stay strong and finish out the season the right way? It's going to be very, very interesting.
All Sports Matters podcast group will be running a March Madness pool. Winner takes all. I will discuss that on the Facebook page.
Yes, sir.
We'll get that going as soon as the app opens up for the future bracket. I believe we had a successful survivor pool. Mm-hmm. That was fun. Nice. Sports is always better when something else is on the line.
Right.
I just want to throw that out there. Not that I'm advocating for gambling, 1-800 Gamblers Anonymous or whatever. If you guys have an issue, got to throw that out there. But it makes it more fun. It makes it more competitive. And hey, who knows? This is when I start watching basketball, college basketball. So we'll see. What you got, Fleck?
Elimination Chamber for those who follow WWE is next Saturday. The U.S. title's being defended in the men's elimination chamber. Winner of the women's elimination chamber goes to WrestleMania to face Bianca Belair. Rhea Ripley chose Charlotte as her WrestleMania opponent, and Cody and Paul Heyman cut probably
the greatest promo ever
that I've seen in the past 10 years.
That was the most amazing promo. It was incredible.
Speaking of combat sports, UFC 284 tomorrow night. Champ versus champ. Volkanovski and Islam Makhachev, something like that. These Russians, man, these names. It's gonna be a great battle, great main event. The card is a little bit weak, but hey, combat sports is where it's at. We don't have any Dana White controversy this week, so let's just hope.
But Brett Favre still owes the state of Mississippi $5 million.
Get them people their money. Stop playing.
We are not trying to get sued for the $5 in our pockets. That's all right.
I had to put on for my boy Jim since he couldn't be here tonight.
He couldn't be here. Hey, Amir, before y'all jump off, got a question for everybody. Who are the 2 youngest quarterbacks to win a Super Bowl? And what were their ages?
Holy crap.
Mahomes would probably be one.
Mahomes is one.
I would probably think Mahomes would probably be one.
Yeah, I was going Mahomes. He was 24.
Okay. And who's the other one? In fact, the other one is the youngest person to win, youngest quarterback to win a Super Bowl.
You got me thinking.
It's not Steve Young, is it?
No.
Is it Steve Young?
No.
Terry Bradshaw?
No. Not that far back.
How far back do we have to go?
This is a 70s question.
No. It's not that far back.
How far back do we have to go?
20 years.
Was I born?
Yes. Yes. It's within the last 20 years.
Big Ben.
Big Ben Roethlisberger. 23 years old. Yep. A lot of people forget that. Ben Roethlisberger was 23 years old when he won a Super Bowl.
Yeah. Yep. 2005. Yep.
You're
absolutely right.
I forgot he was like hella young.
Yeah, it was just his second season with the
Steelers. That's my most random tail fact. So
no, that's not as random as you
think. That was a good one.
You still got us. That 2004 quarterback group though, with Eli, Big Ben, and Phillip Rivers.
It was pretty special.
That's a big group.
Yeah, that's a special
anything
group.
else before we depart?
Nope.
Man, the Hall of Fame class for 2028 gonna be lit.
You
got Brady and JJ Watt as the first 2.
Not at all. If JJ Watt doesn't put his paperwork in, he doesn't qualify. I'm being serious. He's got to put that paperwork in.
You're right. But
you need that paperwork.
I think, honestly, he's put in paperwork. He just said that to say that.
Trust me, they would have refuted. Even the media is quick with that. They would have refuted it.
Oh yeah, no question.
Immediately. He's not worried about it right now because he's still young. He's just trying to, which leads me to believe he might even come back.
I don't think he comes back.
I don't think he comes back.
I said Mike, maybe he plays with his brothers. He put Derek and TJ and JJ on the same team.
He's already said that he's going to have fun watching them play. He said he's going to try to attend a couple of Steelers games.
Hey, Gronkowski hasn't put the paperwork in either, so he might qualify for 2028 if he puts it in this year. So that class might be crazy. If Aaron Rodgers goes out 2028. I know somebody else retired too. I don't remember who, but all right, fellas. It's been a great show, an amazing show. As Jim always says, people like baseball, football, and hockey and whatever else. But with us, all sports matters, right? Is that what we're talking about?
That's how we say it.
Any closing arguments?
It's been real as always.
See you next week.
See y'all next week.